by Kelsky. I'm sick and tired of dead games, quote unquote. Bro, my headphones are so fried, bro. I can only hear out of the left ear.
Why did I just get the scary sound? A scary.
Because it was a
Oh,
baby. You guys didn't hear
I
the
lied.
baby. I heard her crying for a second.
What are you doing?
Huh? What? I'm playing Lethal Company. What does it look like?
Haven't you checked the Steam charts? Why are you playing
Yo,
that?
this is
It's a
actually so
dead
cool,
game,
bro.
dude.
How long?
Why is he still playing? I just said it's a dead game. You should have stopped. He started arguing with me over it.
How long does it take to like make these, bro? This is a 3D animation, and that's 2D.
Something I
The motherfucker floating in the right side, bro.
Maybe he just didn't hear me. I'll try it again.
Why are you playing that? It's a... Wait, what are you doing?
Yo. Nah, but if you really do think about it, I feel like nowadays a lot of the games are just trends, bro. Like, okay, so let's take like what people call friend slap games. Those games, I'm gonna keep it so real. Those games are almost always trends. I feel like the latest one was Mecha Chameleon. That was like the latest, I guess, friend slap game. And it's always a trend. Like it'll last a few weeks to like maybe a month, maybe two. If it's really like cool, it'll last like 2 months. And then like the player base just, I guess, dies. But that, I feel like that's the issue. It's what's trending now. People don't think for themselves, unfortunately. So it's like, I don't know.
I hate dead games. And not in the general sense of what you probably classify as a dead game. Concord. I remember Concord.
What did he say?
Not in the general sense of what you probably classify.
A game that has a population decrease of any amount, especially dead if it's a game that you don't personally like. A term only used by the most intelligent of intelligent upper echelon of society members.
As a
Bro.
dead game. Concord. I remember Concord. remember.
And really, like any game that has just like the most minuscule drop off in player, like in the player base, people will start saying, "Oh, it's dead," and it's like, no, it's not, bro.
Concord. That's a dead game. I remember. More
Bro.
specifically, I hate the way that gamers talk about dead games. The confusing, vague description of what a dead game even is in the first place. In the current era of games getting shut down left and right.
Yeah, that means you too, dickhead. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead. I don't care.
Okay, another thing I think I wanted to bring up, like I was thinking about this, is like, I guess I spoke about it with the Black Ops thing. Like, would you count legacy games as dead? Like, if it's a series game, like it's like let's say Resident Evil. Resident Evil has like 1 million games, right? You wouldn't say the whole series or the whole title, like Resident Evil is dead. You would have to say like a specific game in the series is dead, I guess. But then at the same time, it's a progressing story. So like when a new game comes out, everybody's on that. But then when it keeps progressing, not as much people are going to be playing the old games. Would that be considered as a dead game? Or would you only say like online multiplayer games are considered dead games? Cuz like those are like constantly being updated, constantly being upheld for people to keep playing it, to like come back and keep playing it. You know what I'm saying? Am I making sense right now, or am I just yapping? I need to know.
If you're a good studio, go ahead and untrailer your game.
Arc Raiders is only getting 100,000 players on Steam right now and only 14,000 viewers on Twitch? Damn, that's tragic. That's basically hospice care. Baldur's Gate.
You know what I will say? I wouldn't say okay, but like Arc Raiders, like you haven't really heard much about it. And like the player base went from like hundreds of thousands to, well, I mean he did still say 100,000. That's not bad. You know, I would just say like over time, obviously the player base is gonna fall off. But if it's still maintaining 100,000, I honestly didn't know Arc Raiders was still maintaining 100,000 players. That's very good, I would say. Very good. What the heck? How's that a dead game? In my head, a dead game would be a game that's reputation or legacy has been ruined. Huh. That's a different way to look at it. You know, I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, I guess in the way I would think about what you just said is like a game or like a series that's continued to be like that's still being dragged on when it should have ended a while ago. So like they're just milking the cow. They're just trying to make money off the name itself instead of the story and how good the game is. That's what I'm assuming you mean by that. And that makes sense in my head. That makes sense in my head. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could say like a recent example of that, even though it's kind of controversial, is like Poppy Playtime. People have been saying it should have ended. Obviously, everybody's seen the Markiplier response. A lot of streamers and like YouTubers were like, Chapter 5 was very mid or just like not the best. I haven't played it yet. We're going to play it soon, actually. But I can kind of see that a little bit. Like sometimes games just be dragged on for no reason, and it's like they just want to make bread off of it, which is kind of sad.
3 is only getting 74,000 players daily.
Baldur's
Correct me if
Gate.
I'm wrong, but isn't that about a 92% drop in players? What are these idiots doing? How could they fumble this bad? Crimson Desert only has 90,000 people playing it? At 1 o'clock in the morning? I guess they named it Crimson Desert because the player base is as dry as a desert. Golly, it's starting to get really hot outside again, isn't it? Dead game.
How would you? How can you like actually call those games dead though? Like hundreds of thousands or like tens of thousands of people are still playing it.
Dumbest phrases in gaming, and people throw it around like they're stock analysts standing over a line graph, trying to determine if fun is still legally allowed to exist under a certain player threshold. Those 2 words have completely and utterly lost all meaning, because in today's time, a game is only alive if it's constantly
I
getting
remember
its
when The
asshole
Rock
pumped
was
with
playing
content every
Fortnite.
week
That was
and
so
maintains a player
random.
count of 200,000, 24 hours, 7 days a week, minimum. Call of Duty is dead, Arc Raiders is dead, Fortnite is dead, Battlefield is dead, GTA's still not out. What is anyone even playing?
This has got to be like a rage bait tweet. I'm not gonna lie. What is anyone even playing anymore? There's a lot of games to play, bro. There's a ton of games to play in this day and age. What is he talking about? Also, I feel like basically every game fell off after COVID because everyone had to. You know what? That's also another perspective I never looked at before. Because of COVID, we were quarantined and we had to stay at home. So, like, just by default, dang near, like, the amount of people playing video games in general just skyrocketed because you're in the house all day. So, people seen that as, like, a golden age for video games because they were playing so many different kinds of games. But now that people are back to normal lives, they have jobs, they have to go outside, they gotta touch grass. Motherfucker, you should definitely touch grass. Shouldn't be in the game. You shouldn't be on the game all day. You know what I'm saying? Lock the frick in. I'm talking to you behind the camera. Yes, you. All right, let me chill out. But yeah, like that's actually an interesting take, Ash, and that's kind of true too. I feel like nowadays, maybe like the big companies like AAA games aren't the same. And like I feel like that's a common take. Like AAA games aren't the same. Indie games are taking over, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like that perspective. I think that's a good perspective, Ash. Are you talking to me? Well, I wasn't talking to anyone specifically. But if the shoe, let me stop.
Anymore these days, 42,000 likes. I am superior to these people in every single way. A game can be wildly successful, critically adored, financially secure, beloved by its community, still actively played by tens of thousands of people, and still some glue-sniffing goblin chart cell will still find a way to walk their stinky ass into the conversation with a
Yeah,
The
but the
game is
concurrent count
dead.
is down 84% from its peak.
Bro. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
And? Did you want everyone who first played this game to stay logged in forever? Did you expect every player to remain cryogenically
That's what I'm
frozen inside
saying.
the main menu screen out of loyalty? People like to make fun of modern games a lot, you know, rightfully so, but I don't think enough people make fun of modern gamers enough. Modern gamers who, to be completely honest, don't even fucking play video games. The ones
I'm telling you, everything is a trend now, bro. Everything is like trend hopping. It really is. Like whatever you see is popping on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or something, or you see YouTubers playing, streamers playing, people are just gonna hop on that because they see them having fun, and then they assume the game is fun. But then when they get on the game, they don't enjoy it, and then they're gonna start talking bad about that game. Player base starts falling off after like a month or two, and then people are gonna start saying the game is dead. I feel like that's a common cycle, bro.
Checking for realistic fruit physics and everything. The ones who cream their shorts at the sight of 4K ray traced eye graphics. The ones who sit their big back bottom feeding asses on Twitter complaining about women not having triple D milkers. LARPers, chart cells, grift.
Wasn't that the Ghost of Yote? That's what people were saying about the main character of the Ghost of Yote. Or I'm wildin'. I would love to play that game. I never played that game. Or Ghost of Tsushima. I've never played those games.
All bringing out 120% of their potential to repel sex. And while
Chart
we will
cells
talk
is a
more
new
in-depth
one. I've
about
never heard of
those
that.
three, beyond all those different kinds
Is
of
that Mob
chuds,
Psycho?
there is one thing that your average modern gamer has become absolutely, undeniably obsessed with. Something that has permanently warped the perception of this medium beyond repair. A single word. Updates. Updates.
Yo.
I can't get enough of those delicious
Yes,
patch
bro.
notes. Human beings naturally like novelty. We like new things. But some of y'all be acting like starved peasants if the game you're playing for only 10 hours a week doesn't come out with a new multiplayer map every single day.
Bro, it's crazy. I think like I experienced that with Peak. Y'all remember Peak? I don't know if people still play Peak as often as before. I'm not gonna say it's a dead game though. I don't know how many people are playing it. But like people were always complaining that Peak didn't have updates. And from what I understand is like that wasn't a game that the developers planned on like updating constantly. Oh, like what's the word? I know there's a word that like encapsulates this, but I forget what the word is, bro. It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't think I'm gonna remember though. But it's like people always complain over the littlest of things, bro. And it's like, dude, if you have so many complaints, why don't you go and make the dang game yourself, bro? Now I understand not everybody's a game developer. That's cool. But stop complaining every 2 seconds about the most minute details, bro. Please.
Spare an update for a suffering gamer.
Equating a game's quality to the frequency of content updates. And look, I like updates too. New content is nice.
Oh my gosh.
Ongoing support can be great. It's been to the benefit of numerous games, allowing for some insane comeback stories. But somewhere along the way, a huge chunk of the gaming audience developed live service brain rot so severe that they no longer see updates as a specific subcategory of gaming. They see it as the bare minimum.
Everything really like leads back to Fortnite, bro. Fortnite and COVID. COVID and Fortnite. The two are like synonymous, bro. It's crazy. I feel like it's because of Fortnite, because Fortnite always had season updates, all that good stuff. Right? And then the battle pass. That's why almost every game has like a battle pass now. It's like it's crazy. Fortnite really is the blueprint for a lot of these games.
Requirement for any game to justify its own existence. It has broken people's understanding of what a game is allowed to be. Finished. Ever since Fortnite set the high bar of what a live service game could
Oh my
be,
gosh.
now every game is expected to behave like a live service title,
Yes,
even when it
bro.
clearly isn't one. Games you used to love have been forced to turn into live service slop, forced to fight in this never-ending battle of numbers trying to stay afloat. A battle that most developers don't have the manpower to
That's what
afford
I'm
to keep up for
saying,
very
bro.
long. Mid-season refreshes, new cosmetics, new meta shakeups, new roadmaps, new patch notes, new "we hear you" developer statements typed by some exhausted community manager who sold out his body back in 2023.
Yeah.
Since shareholders only speak in currency, they don't understand the workload it takes to keep up this kind of parade for very long. Like, Guang Guang got them Marvel Rivals devs locked up in those offices 3D modeling
No,
skimpy character skins
probably,
while their
bro.
families are hanging up missing person posters around
Bro, Rivals is straight gooner updates, bro. That's all Rivals is. I'm not gonna lie.
the neighborhood. Halo. oh my beloved Halo, has been getting gutted inside and out because of this business model, and I just had to sit and watch it happen. But they themselves marketed
never
the
played
game as
Halo.
a live service game. The next 10 years of Halo, something truly infinite.
Live service, live service. He said it like 50 million times. Live service game. That's what I meant to say. That was the term that was on the tip of my tongue. Straight meat farm. Love some Jubilee though. Bro, you are like, you're gooned out, OG. I'm not gonna lie. You're like horned out. I'm gonna need you to lock in, twin.
They very quickly proved that they actually made a little typo in the game's name. He put those silly 2 little letters
Finite.
there. That's accurate. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to turn this into a live service rant because that horse has been long since atomized. But while the suits are demanding the live service slot machines stay churning, it's mostly because the people are eating that shit up like some free
Overwatch.
Krispy Kreme donuts. And after all that slop 10 is digested, what results is the curation of this toxic cycle of players addicted to that live service sugar. And developers struggling to keep up with their fat-ass demands. It poisons both the producer and the consumer, birthing the world's strongest video game chuds. And now we have to deal with these communities of people who genuinely think like, if your game doesn't come out with updates fast enough, then you just met the condition to activate my cursed technique.
Updates or DLC packs, bro. It's always one of the two. Updates or DLC packs. Like even story games, bro. Story games. Games that are meant to end. They're not meant to, like, people want DLCs for. And it's like, why? Why do you want a DLC, bro? The story is finished. What more do you want them to add to it? It doesn't make sense. People are they're never content with something ending, bro. And that's how it's meant to be. That's what video games are about, bro. They're not supposed to go on forever. Well, I guess some of them do. You got like Fortnite, yeah. But again, like not every developer, that's not what they're aiming for, bro. I feel like a good example of that maybe is like, I've never played it, but freaking I forgot the name of the game. Yo, scratch everything I just said. Oh my gosh.
Malevolent metrics.
Scratch
turning every
everything I
player
just
loss
said.
into a slash attack with a guaranteed hit effect. But it doesn't
How'd I forget the
matter
name of the
because,
game?
well, it's obviously profitable. There's a reason why companies keep trying it. And you know, whatever, right? Let them shoot themselves in the foot and make them learn their lesson. But even if you don't play live service games, oh, you're not safe from this discourse, buddy. I see you hiding over there. You're right there. Like, you're not- I can
DLCs,
see
bro.
you. The live service SCP has breached containment and its infection has been spreading everywhere. The fact that there are some people who genuinely apply live service logic to single player games is genuinely psychopathic.
It doesn't
In 4
make
months, when
any
Crimson Desert
sense.
player numbers start dwindling, I guarantee you're gonna see people frothing at the mouth saying, look, see, I knew Crimson Desert is a bad game. It fell off. Dead game. Trash. Congratulations, buddy. You just learned the concept of finishing something.
That's what
People
I'm
beat the
saying,
game
bro.
and move on. The product was consumed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't say a game is dead if it's meant to end, bro. Of course, unless there's like a lot of side missions and like people try to platinum the game and that takes a while, 100% the game. Maybe it'll last like a couple more weeks or months. But eventually the player base is gonna end. And you get people like me who haven't played games besides sports games in their lives, and now they're experiencing the games in the past. Yeah, that's literally it. It's not gonna be like a whole new wave unless it's updated or a DLC drops or something, you know?
Meal was eaten. Would you call a restaurant dead because people finished dinner and went home? Actually, some of you probably would. Yo, dude, you see the concurrent player count on Denny's last night? That shit is cooked. The developers of Peak, indie companies...
Yo, it's like I'm actually like, there's no way. Everything I'm saying he eventually talks about, bro. I promise you, I swear I have not watched this video. That's crazy.
Crab and Landfall Games had to publicly call out some nerd
No,
complaining the game wasn't
I've
receiving
seen
updates
this. It's
fast
'cause
enough,
I've
to which
witnessed
these
this when I was
gigachads
playing it.
replied, neither of us or Aggro Crab
Are
are
live service.
studios.
Yes, bro.
Any update is a bonus, not a right. clapping back with a truth nuke so hard that it deleted the original tweet from existence.
Yes.
Lots of people don't know this, but Peak was a game jam game. Game jams are basically contests where developers have to make a game within a certain time frame.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Need creativity from constraints and
That's
pressure.
actually
this
cool.
Game was made in a month.
What
the
the
developers
frick
themselves
is
weren't
he
expecting
doing
how
with
much it
his
would have
hand?
blown up. Yet despite that, this small indie company still gave out free updates and content for the love of the game, and they still got shit for it not being enough.
It doesn't
What's
make
crazy
sense.
is
It
even
actually
though
doesn't make
I personally
sense.
think Fortnite started this train wreck, they themselves are literally becoming an example of how this business model, the concept of a forever game, is not immune to being eroded away by the sands of time.
Dang, 1,000
and corporate greed.
employees?
But unfortunately, the damage has already been done. And now you have people angrily pointing at Peak, calling it a dead game as if it was supposed to last forever. I played Peak.
And even then, from what I remember, I think Peak, like, even if you climbed all the way to the top and like finished the game, I think after like a full day, they like change the maps, or like they'll change the order of the maps or something like that. Which is like, that's some type of novelty. It changes it up every now and then. Like that gives it some type of replayability, you know? Probably not the best, but still some type of replayability.
I had a great time with it. Do I play
Ah man, I've never beaten Peak though. I think the highest I've gotten was like I gotten past the Tropics, which was the second peak, and I thought it was over after that. And then me and Gramps, we just got off the game because it took us like 3 hours to beat just that portion, bro.
it anymore? Nah, not really, no. Because I got my experience out of it and had a great time. That shit was like $7 or something, man. But for some people,
Yeah, I got it for,
getting
like,
dozens
4.
upon dozens of hours of entertainment for the same price as an in-and-out combo just doesn't cut it. There's only 40,000 people playing it. Holy fucking nerd alert.
You know what else? I wanna like bring up now. He brings up price. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of like, I'm someone that does it too, but like, dang, now that he put it in that perspective, like whenever a game is like $4 or $5, like I never like, I would just go past it. I look past that game because I'm like, dang, I'm not trying to drop $5 on a game, but I would drop $5 on like outside food, on fast food. Why can't I drop $5 on a video game that I'll probably have like a good experience with? I never thought of it like that. I might be a bot too, I'm not gonna lie.
Can we talk about that word real quick?
Or maybe it's because I'm broke. That too.
Only 40,000 people. That's what
That's
some
a
chart
ton of
sales
people.
classify as a dead game. Some of you hear only before a number larger than the population of several towns. And
Like-
realize how batshit insane you sound. Only 40,000 players. Brother, that is a functioning society. That is a zip code.
That
is
is,
enough
bro.
people to fill a small arena and still have pickup artists filming in the parking lot. There's some dinosaur simulator game called The Isle. Fucking love that game. Averages like 15, 20k people daily. Thousands of little dickheads running around as raptors. Since when, as a
What the
society,
heck?
did we start classifying communities of this size as dead, deceased, gone? Bitch, what do you mean? I'm growing my stego right now. Numbers 2 averages about 50k players daily. That's roughly 90% less players than its all-time peak. People call this a dead game. Who the fuck are you that 50,000 people isn't considered a healthy number? You can't even get 5
Speed
people
all
to
up
do
in
a
my
Destiny
face,
raid
bro.
together.
Back up.
Right now, there's this weird cultural inability to let a game simply exist at any point between industry-dominating phenomenon and corpse. Like my guy, there's a whole spectrum right there. And not the one that you're on. This era of chart sales pocket watching Steam charts more than actually playing video games
Bro, I love
has
Baki,
to end,
bro.
man. Y'all need to get some hobbies.
What
And
in the
then
world is
you got
that?
the Twitch view counters, which are, in my
Ah,
opinion,
man.
worse than your average chart sale. Because how are you going to
People really do. They also like base a game's popularity on like how many people are watching it on Twitch, which is crazy. Cause like, how does that correlate at all? I mean, it correlates to some extent, but that's not how that works, bro. That's not how that works at all.
attach a game's success to streamers?
Yeah.
Especially when all it takes is one person to completely seesaw a game to the most watched category.
Yeah, I think we seen it with Jinxie. Jinxie played like Clash Royale or something, or Rainbow Six Siege. people were calling that a dead game for a long time, and then like when Jinxie blew up because he was playing Rainbow Six, mad. I always see a Rainbow Six Siege tournament nowadays. Like that's always happening. Clash Royale, all that, like, it's crazy.
For like a single day. Some games are just more fun to play than they are to watch, and vice versa. These are the viewer numbers on Twitch for Marvel Rivals and Warframe. Here are the Steam player numbers. Now, if you do the math here, you know, carry the 0 and divide, compare the 2 to the quadratic formula, you can see that the answer is it doesn't fucking matter. Can we get back to having like real intelligent conversations about video games with actual valid critiques beyond just yelling dead game and woke? It's just such a weird, warped perception of popularity.
Gosh!
Relating a dead game to, oh, it only has 5-digit player numbers. It's not the most watched on Twitch. Well, I never see it on my TikTok For You page. That is not death. That is just existing without spectacle. And you know, maybe that's the real reason why people hate it. A game without massive numbers forces people to confront whether they actually like it without the validation of popularity. No hype, no social proof, no algorithm, no giant crowd telling you this is the place to be.
Dead by Daylight, oh my gosh. Dead by Daylight is also like a victim to this, to a sense. Every time, whenever I play Dead by Daylight with my friends, or like, you always hear people say Dead by Daylight's a dead game. No, it's not. Dead by Daylight has like 70,000 active players on Steam alone, I think. Like, that's not even counting like PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, whatever they're playing on, bro. It's crazy.
Hey man, come on, it's so cool. Just you and the game. And for a lot of people, that's quite scary. It's like they're still mentally stuck in high school, you know, walking around terrified about what other people think. Oh man, I wonder if people like my Yu-Gi-Oh shirt. Wow, that's a really cool shirt. I didn't know you were chill like that. Let's be friends. Grow the fuck up, man. Do you actually like the game? For a shocking number of people, that appears to be a much harder question than, what are the Steam charts saying? But LARPers can't answer that question at all because they don't know if they actually like the game because they don't fucking play the game. Instead of making genuine content critiquing titles they've actually experienced, they merely make up imaginary problems so they can grift to a community of people with a combined IQ score of Patrick's pet rock. And it doesn't help either that this Donkey Kong barrel ass pastry turned Twitter into the ragebait factory where it's profitable to ragebait.
Bro, I feel like Twitter was always like that though. That's why I don't use Twitter at all. I don't have a Twitter account. I can't be on Twitter. It's always some nonsense being said over there.
It's truly unfortunate because someone out there who isn't chronically online and is actually interested in trying a game might come across these opinions or misinformation posts from some troglodyte who has no idea what they're talking about and could actually be dissuaded from trying it. These cockroaches do have an impact on gaming communities, unfortunately, which can affect player counts, which then turns into more ammunition for the grifter. A revolving door cycle of chuds that have zero benefit to this beloved hobby. A literal bulging cancer mass sucking the life of gaming because they themselves have no lives. Most of these guys have failed relationships, genuinely have brain damage, or have court-documented restraining orders. The best way to handle garbage like this is to just put them in the ignore bin and forget about them entirely, which is harder said than done. Okay, I myself can admit that I cannot resist sometimes pointing and laughing at the pants being pissed, but I'm sure their little chodes feel a sparkle of enjoyment out of the humiliation. So the best thing you can do is to just ignore.
That's just a life lesson.
Not only is this era of witch hunting games incredibly cringe, but it's also just so vague. Like, what does dead
trendy,
even
bro.
mean?
It's
Dead as in
trending.
the servers are offline? Dead as in...
That's what I'm saying. What do you consider as dead? In my mind, I feel like you can only apply the concept of a game being dead to a live service game that people just are not playing anymore. I feel like that's the only way. If it's a single player game, a story mode game, something along those lines, it can't be dead. It just can't. Because like once you finish the game, unless you want to replay the game, people aren't going to be replaying it so often. That's the only way. It's the only way.
Nobody can find a match? Dead as in the devs stop supporting it? Dead as in the player base
That too.
is somewhat smaller than it used to be? Dead as in it's no longer the main character on social media? Those are all completely different things, yet people use the same phrase for all of them, and mostly with the intention of just attacking a game they don't like. And I gotta say, that mindset is infinitely more embarrassing than just enjoying a game with lower numbers. At least the people still playing are actually playing. No,
What
don't get
the
me wrong.
frick?
Talking about things like player counts and updates are not completely meaningless. I'm not gonna act like they never matter, because in some situations, they do. Bungie's Marathon, my love-hate confusing relationship with
I've
this
never
game.
heard of this
Stop
game.
suffocating me, I need my space. Baby, I didn't mean it. You know I love you. That is an example where looking at numbers can be informative. There can be a genuine discussion in relation to a game's population, especially if said AAA live service game has a gigantic
Live
budget,
service, yes.
expensive server infrastructure,
That's the key word, live service. Especially if it's live service and nobody's playing it, then you can say it's dead, in my opinion.
matchmaking requirements, and shareholders standing behind the devs with the shotgun in a spreadsheet. So if a game's costs aren't equating to the projected player counts, that's a discussion to be had, because yeah, why spend $40 on something that could be considered temporary?
Yep.
A game that could actually one day die. This all loops back to stop killing games. Where did
Pumpkin, what are you talking about?
that leads you back to me. The argument that gamers should have protection and rights to games they purchase, and that a game you purchase should not be allowed to be shut down. Keyword
Yes,
purchase.
yes,
As of April
yes.
2026, the movement actually backed a California bill that covers a lot of these issues. One point being that developers must include some sort of offline capabilities so people can still enjoy the games they own. Although the terms of what purchasing a game even means has become very muddy in recent times, some companies try saying what you're buying is like a temporary access key that just unlocks the ability
These
to play the
motherfuckers
game.
be
A key
lying,
that they have
bro.
the right to take away for any reason, which
BS.
is complete bullshit
The
because
BS.
it's misleading. Ownership has just been slowly swapped with licensing over time. And the fact that there hasn't been any legislation to make that totally clear at checkout is fucking wild. Like, if you purchase a copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube, you're not signing or agreeing to any legal documents that say, actually, this is a license. No, you bought the game.
BS,
It's
bro.
yours. However, now, if you purchase a game on Steam or the Epic Game, I never mind, can't even say it. These platforms are still using the same semantic word we've been using for acquiring video games for decades now. Purchase. Except now there's a silly little checkmark box you have to click before you can purchase. Well, what does that subscriber agreement mean? Don't worry about it, kitten. Yay! If you actually click on this highlighted part, you can find a
I've
section
never clicked on
called
that, actually.
Licenses. And
Licenses.
lo and behold,
Okay.
there it is. Valve hereby grants, and you accept, a non-exclusive license and right to use the content and services for your personal, non-commercial use. Your license confers no title or ownership in the content and services. This is a single-player game, so what the fuck do you mean I don't own it? Again, this lack of transparency is a massive, massive problem.
Ridiculous.
However, let me play a little devil's advocate, shall I?
GameStop about to turn out to be like the new Blockbuster movies store, bro. Nobody, I haven't been to a bro. When was the last time y'all actually entered a GameStop, bro? I haven't entered a GameStop. I don't even know when. Probably to buy like my Pro controller for the Switch, and I probably got this like 3-4 years ago. There's no reason for you to go to a GameStop unless you're getting like some other accessory that's not a game. Which is sad, bro. But like, I feel like now that they're saying that like digital games don't count as ownership, GameStop might have like a boom in like people trying to just rush and buy the game CDs just to own it before all this nonsense happens. I don't know. That's what I think. You've never seen a GameStop IRL? That's crazy. You just been bunny hopping to Saudi and Egypt? They don't have any in Sardinia or Egypt, bro? What the heck? I mean, I've been to Egypt when I was super duper young, so I wouldn't know about Egypt. I've never been to Saudi, so I couldn't say for that either. But I would assume GameStop is everywhere. Everywhere that has gaming. That's kind of crazy, I ain't gonna lie.
Yes. In a perfect world, every game would have a functional offline component that allows any game, including live service ones, a way to still experience the game. Helldivers 2 is an online-only game. It's not like Helldivers 1, where the game was built upon an automated, self-sustaining system that can last forever. This whole live service galactic war thing with real humans behind the scenes making changes and actively directing the story isn't something you'll probably be able to boot up 20 years from now. But it's because it's temporary that you're able to have an experience like this game that you can't get in a single-player only game that never evolves or changes. We'll never get Malevelon Creek ever again, rest in peace. It was just a gaming moment where you had to be there. But that kind of begs the question,
Welcome
right?
back,
Was
Ash,
Helldivers
welcome
2
back.
successful because it was built as an online-only community-driven game? Now, does that mean it's completely impossible to have an offline mode? Of course not. In fact, as of making this video, some talented modders came out with something called Custom Galactic War, which enables things like multi-faction battles, deeper player customization, and so much more.
Modders really
However,
do be
even the
coming in
CGW
clutch,
team
bro.
themselves say that it wouldn't have all been possible if it were not for Arrowhead making all of this base game content in the first place, due to its always online, ever-evolving war. It was made in addition to the game, not in spite of it. And even then, it still technically requires an online connection because it still has live liberation stats and whatnot.
That's
It's just
kinda
like
sad.
separate from the base game. Now, the fact that this mod even exists could possibly imply that sometime down
Also, was it your affiliate anniversary? Oh, it was actually, I think. I think I got a notification about it too. But I didn't stream the day of. But I guess we can celebrate it now. Hey, affiliate anniversary, you know what I'm saying? The day I was able to plague my chat with watching ads. That's what we love to see. The day I was able to enable however many ads I want you guys to watch for you guys to fill up my pockets, you know? Hey man, I really do love y'all for sitting down watching the ads, man. I appreciate y'all a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's actually like what, 6 cents per person watching? Appreciate y'all, bro. It adds up over time, trust and believe. Maybe like in 2 years I'll get my next paycheck. Who knows? Oh, who knows?
the line, Arrowhead themselves could come out with one final update that shifts the game into a HD1 type of state where it can last forever offline. But it would definitely require tons of resources and a drastic reworking of how the game was created, coded, and functions at its core. And hell, you could even argue that the game would be fundamentally different from what it was initially advertised as. So some people could claim misleading marketing, you know, yada yada. It gets messy, right? Foxhole is a game where just on a conceptual
Foxhole.
level, it is impossible to play offline or solo because the entire game's premise is that it's a 24/7 never-ending live war where every single player, vehicle,
That's actually
system,
crazy.
everything is controlled by individual people. It's fucking awesome that a video game like this is even possible, and it makes me excited
That's
for other things like this that could be
insane.
made on a grander scale, but again, it technically goes directly against the concept of every video game ever being an offline forever game.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves would not be the same kind of game without being a shared
Aw,
world. Pretty much
man.
every MMO ever actually
I've
would
never
just not
played
straight
Sea
up
of
work
Thieves,
or be
but it looks
entirely
so
different
cool.
games offline. Things like Destiny 2 has like campaigns and such that could be preserved in offline content, but what about the more social experiences? The Finals is a multiplayer game so complex and unique, I actually think it would be impossible to code a fully playable offline mode with bots that replicate the same experience as online PvP.
I was actually supposed to play the finals. Me and my friends, bro, we downloaded the game, but we never played it. It makes me curious. It makes me kind of want to play it now.
There's a lot of nuance here. Something as game preservation isn't so black and white. Ultimately, I support the movement and have so much more to say about it, but that can be a whole other video, honestly. The reason I'm talking about it right now, though, is because to me, this is what real dead game discourse is. The discussion about these products fully and truly being taken away, becoming unaccessible. Highguard is a dead game. The Day
Never
Before
heard of
is
it.
a dead game.
Never heard
Halo
of it.
Infinite is not a dead game. It's on fucking life support, but it exists. All of this other grifter, LARPer, chart sell bullshit. I'm tired
We
of
are.
that discourse. Dead
Wait, you're still on the dead game video? You're a yapper. Chill. You know, sometimes it takes me a second. It takes me like a couple minutes to get my point across. Okay? Now, are we an hour and 5 minutes into the stream? Maybe. Did I start the video around like the 20th minute of the stream? Maybe. But that doesn't mean I'm a yapper. That just means I'm reacting to the video. I'm giving my thoughts while reacting. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works around here, feel me?
Game discourse is dead.
Dead game discourse
Overall,
is
I
dead.
hate player count brain, I hate live service psychosis, and I hate the idea that a game has to be endlessly updated, permanently dominant, and algorithmically certified fresh, ISO speed approved in order to be considered worth a damn.
speed
Maybe it's
approved.
just kids who haven't learned what mortality is
Yeah.
yet, spewing all this shit online, but
Continue
if you're a
to
grown-ass
yap,
adult
okay.
who still has live service brain rot, let me give you one last tug back into reality.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing lasts forever.
Wow.
No game stays at its launch peak forever. People
That got real deep, actually. Bro took us to a grave site. Hey, bruh. Feels like I'm back in my philosophy class after that.
move on. Culture shifts. Audiences splinter. And you know what? That's okay. That doesn't erase what it was.
Oh, wait. I didn't even realize you guys got ads. Oh, I take it back. What the... That was actually like perfect timing. That was genuinely perfect timing for the ads. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Welcome back.
It doesn't erase the fun that people had with it. It doesn't mean it was a failure. Normalize the idea of playing a game, experiencing it,
No fucking way.
creating fond memories,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
moving on. Everyone is so fucking angry, constantly bickering about my game is more popular than your game, and then a month later, the numbers and arguments completely flip. Stop dying on hills that are constantly shifting. Play what you love. And hopefully one day in the future, you won't have to worry about a game you enjoy actually dying. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we hopefully get there. Smiling Friends just ended recently, and as much as I love
I
that
never got a
show,
chance to watch it.
I'm thankful because in an era where everything is marketed to be infinite, they gave me the ultimate smile by proving they know when it's time to finish.
Smiling Friends gave him the ultimate smile. That brings a tear to my eye, bro. What a message.
For making it to the end of this video, you've received yet another Bubba picture. Thank you so
Yo,
much for watching. I don't normally make these kinds
what
of
the
videos
dog
talking
doing?
about general gaming topics, so if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. In conclusion, holy shit, chest fell off, dead game. Let's get a swimsuit skin for the queen. That'll
Chest fell
fix it.
off. Yo, that makes me wonder. First of all, great video. Shout out to Kelski. Yo, that just gave me like another yapping point to talk about. Is it possible for chess to die? Chess might be like the greatest game of all time.
Hot vibrational beings, you can't tame us.